Hey everyone, what is going on, and welcome back to today's video. And it is a Sunday, so we are back with another operator guide. I know that intro is probably getting old now to some of you people who have been here since the Bandit guide, but yeah, every Sunday, new guide. This is going to last like a year. And yeah, welcome to the IQ guide. IQ was the clear winner of the last episode, racking in 60 likes on IQ, 25 likes on Fuse, and 12 likes on Castle. So you guys definitely wanted IQ over all the other votes, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. Now obviously before we get into this video, we have to decide who we're going to be doing for next week's video. So next week's operators are going to be Gridlock, Mute, and Mozzie. And the way you vote for this is you go down to the comment section down below, and there's going to be 3 comments. One's going to say Gridlock, one's going to say Mute, one's going to say Mozzie. They're all going to be from me, and they're all going to be loved, and you just go and drop a like down on them, and that's who you're going to want to vote for in today's video. So go down to the comment section down below just before this video starts and vote for who you want next week, or do it at the end, I don't mind. And also, someone suggested to me that I use cards for the vote, like a card in the top right corner. If you guys want me to use cards, let me know down below. I just don't, I feel like the comment section is just easier, but the card probably could work just as good. But other than that, let's get into the video. So as always, we're going to start off with the weapon review, we're going to move on to the gadget utilization, then we're going to finish off with operator strategies. So, let's get into the weapon review. Now, IQ has arguably one of the best loadouts in the game. Not just because of sheer gun power, it's just the 3 guns she brings to the table are all great in their own way. So the first weapon she brings to the table is the AUG A2. The GSG's medium to long assault rifle with a high rate of fire, obviously. It has 42 damage a shot on 720 rounds per minute. This is a pretty solid weapon, and I would definitely recommend that you guys want... It's probably the easiest to control out of the 3, but I honestly believe that one of the other weapons is her better sets. But I believe the AUG is still definitely possible to use, depending on what you're looking for. Low recoil is definitely part of the AUG's arsenal. It's really got basically no recoil. It pretty much only drifts up slightly to the left. And yeah, just all in all, the AUG is actually a pretty solid weapon, but in my opinion, the other 2 weapons are both better. So coming in next, we have the 5.52 Commando. I'd say this is the most used weapon that people use on IQ. Coming in with 48 damage and 690 rounds per minute, a little bit slower than the AUG, and its recoil pattern is a little bit more whack. It drifts quite significantly out to the right, so it's a little bit more difficult to control. So if you're looking for an easy recoil gun, the AUG is definitely your thing, but if I'm going to be honest, speaking from someone who's practiced with all 3 of these guns, I'd say the 5.52 is definitely the better pick for sheer damage and power. And really, if you guys just put some time into this weapon, figuring out its recoil will really not be difficult for any of you. I'm sure you guys can sort it out quite easily. Now diving into her third weapon, and honestly, my personal favourite, the G8A1 LMG. This gun has 37 damage a bullet, but it has 850 rounds per minute fire rate, and it has a 50 round magazine. This gun is just an absolute machine. In majority of the clips in the background you're going to see is with this weapon. This thing is just so fun to use, and it's really powerful. I actually enjoy using it a lot. I've been using it a lot, and it's just great. While getting these clips, I was using this gun, and I just realized how actually simple but powerful it is, and I might even start playing it more in like my ranked games over Zofia possibly. This gun is just everything you need. The fact that it has 50 bullets basically means reloading isn't a problem, especially if you get into multiple gunfights in short succession. And its damage is a little bit low, but I mean, damage doesn't really matter in any gun if you're hitting the head. So I know that's not really a tip, but yeah, the low damage is definitely not going to help you if you are not a headshot player. If you prefer to play body shot, I'd recommend the 5.52 Commando because it kind of brings in the best damage. But in all around gun sense, I believe the G8A1 is her best weapon she can bring, just because of that factor that she has a massive magazine and a high fire rate, and it's just a good all-around weapon. Its recoil is also much easier in the 5.52 Commando, only with a slight drift to the right, much less than the hard drift that the Commando has to the right. So basically it has the same recoil pattern as Zofia, and if you guys have played Zofia before, it's basically non-existent. All you have to do is slowly tap your trigger down to the right if you're on controller, and on keyboard, who knows how easy it is. Yeah, she definitely has one of the greatest arsenals in my opinion. All 3 weapons are good in their own right, but in my personal opinion, I'd recommend the G8 or the Commando. Now finishing up with her secondary that she brings to the table, it is the P12, the GSG-9's pistol, 45 caliber, 44 damage a shot, shoots as fast as you want depending on your trigger finger. It also has 15 bullets in the magazine, and it's just a solid all-around gun. And it is great for finishing off your kills from the primaries if it is necessary, but I mean the G8 has 50 bullets, so most of the time you don't need that anyway. This is also the weapon you will have out when you are using your gadget, which we will dive into later, so yeah, it's just a good secondary to have if you get caught with your gadget out. Now in terms of our loadout gadget, she has access to a Claymore and a Breach Charge. Both of these are useful in their own right. IQ is a 3-speed, so you can play her as a rushing operator or a frag, which is the recommended way to use her, unless you need her for a specific objective. So bringing this Breach Charge may help you in terms of rushing, and if you're playing support, a Claymore will help basically anywhere because runouts are a real problem. and this will just help you out in the long term. And that is going to be the weapon review, and now we're going to jump into the gadget utilization. Now obviously her gadget is the electronics detector. If you press your RB button or whatever your prompt button is on PC, you will pull out an electronics detector that IQ has strapped to her arm that detects all electrical based devices that you can find in the game. Now this can be very handy in a lot of situations. I believe the best way to utilize this gadget would to be go above or below an objective, as long as you know that there's no roamers to frag you out, because obviously when you get this gadget out, it gets your pistol out as well, which is going to put you at a disadvantage against someone with a primary weapon on the defensive side. And try and shoot out gadgets, so if you can get below, shoot through the floor or shoot through the roof and just shoot out gadgets. This is especially useful if they are playing a bandit. You can get down under and just shoot the bandits, but you can do this with basically anyone if you have callouts, but IQ just makes it much easier. And utilizing this gadget just comes in handy in all types of ways. The main thing that this can be really useful for is spotting outside Valkyrie cams. Sometimes they can't be seen, sometimes they have them coconut bra strats that you just cannot find. IQ comes really handy in finding those secret spots, because obviously it's a gadget, you're going to detect them. And another useful thing that IQ's gadget comes in for is it can detect an operator if they're using an electronic ability, such as a pulse maybe sitting below. You can literally get a live ping on him and maybe floor bang him with your pistol if you catch him off guard. You can detect a vigil, and I'm pretty sure that's it in terms of someone with electronic gadgets, but if there is another one that I forgot, make sure to let me know down below and I'll pin your comment. But yeah, she comes very in handy for tracking those two roamers that can be very annoying sometimes, especially if they are popping their abilities. Pulse specifically, you can find him just sitting there with his scanner out and you can just catch him off guard and just laser him. And that definitely makes IQ's gadget a very useful thing to bring to the offensive team, just because it has utility and it also has counters, so it can counter the people who are just stingy roaming. You'll find the majority of the people using these type of electronic gadgets won't be on site, so that's why IQ is best in a fragging position, but we'll talk about that in a second. But all in all, this gadget is great to bring the offensive type, and pairing this up with her fragging capabilities, her 3 speed and her weapons, she's just an all-around great operator, and I'd definitely recommend you pick her up as one of your first operators. Now we're going to move on to the operator strategies, the third and final part of this episode of operator guides. So, operator strategies is when I detail to you what you should be doing and how you should be playing IQ, and I personally believe IQ is more of a frag support mix, otherwise known as a flex, but to the people who didn't know what that means, it's someone who can play frag but also can play support. Sometimes you balance one up higher than the other depending on the round situation you're in. IQ's loadout alone makes her a great fragger. Just having access to all 3 of those weapons will give you easy frags. Maybe not easy, but you get the picture. Having these weapons will definitely give you an advantage in a fragging situation on top of someone different, such as Nock as an example. I know she's not a very good example, but the fragging capabilities that IQ will bring is just going to help you out a lot more than anything Nock can do to bring the team. Just because Nock's meant to be a fragger, she's meant to be a sneaky killer, but IQ just brings ACOG sights that Nock doesn't have. She has 3 speed that Nock doesn't have, and just everything better. But yeah, IQ's weapon set alone will give you the capabilities to frag if necessary, but obviously if you would like to play a fragging operator, I recommend you guys definitely practice your aim and make sure it is ready before you get into fragging, because getting your aim right is one of the key things about fragging, and I definitely do not recommend you play a frag type of operator until you have sorted out a positive KD and possible potential kills basically every round. And if you are not this type of player, then I'd recommend you play more of a support side IQ. A support side IQ would be working with your team. Hopefully you would need communication with them to shoot out gadgets and just give them an easier push onto site so they can get a possible plant down, or just basically get rid of gadgets so they have less things to worry about. Two gadgets in particular that I'm going to mention are Jaegers, so people can get smokes down and people can get frags in to stop a bandit trick, or you can just straight up shoot the bandits themselves. Both of these gadgets are very annoying, and a third would definitely be Valkyrie cams, but you can get Valkyrie cams if you're playing frag or support, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, using this operator in coordination with your team to get gadgets, if Thatch is possibly banned, or Twitch, or no one wants to play Twitch, which is understandable because her gun isn't the easiest thing to control, especially on console. IQ's gun definitely has better control, which you can utilize better so you can be more efficient to the team. But if you can sort out kind of like a balance between both of these sides, you can really make IQ a great operator to bring. And she is quite highly picked. She brings a lot of utilization to the team along with damage, and she's definitely someone I would recommend to you guys again to pick as one of your first operators. And that's about all I have to say about IQ. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something new. Honestly, I didn't really know what to say about IQ in terms of gadget. I didn't know how to describe it because it's kind of a pretty straightforward gadget, but I just tried to give you guys the best tips I could to utilize it as best as you can in coordination with a team. And yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. If you have made it to the end of the video, come check out my Twitch. The link's in the description. You guys will definitely have a good time there. I stream there every day at 7:15 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.